All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going on a little journey. An auditor's journey, you might say, right into the heart of pharmaceutical manufacturing. We're going to pull back the curtain on the critical systems that make sure the medicines we all depend on are not just effective, but consistently safe, batch after batch. And really, this quote right here is the whole ballgame. This is the philosophy that has completely changed the industry. It's all about shifting the focus, moving away from just trying to catch mistakes at the end of the production line, and instead designing processes that are so robust, mistakes are prevented from ever happening in the first place. Keep that idea in your head as we go through this. So to start our journey, we need to know what rules we're playing by. We have to understand the rule book that an auditor walks in with. And that foundation, that rule book is called cGMP. At its core, Good Manufacturing Practice, or GMP, is a system that covers literally everything, from the raw materials you use to the equipment to how the staff is trained. It's all about consistency and control. But you see that one little letter at the beginning of the acronym, that C? That one letter makes all the difference in the world. Yeah, all the power here is in that one letter. The C stands for current. And that's not just a suggestion, it's a critical legal distinction. It means companies are audited against today's standards, today's technology. So you can't get away with using some obsolete piece of tech from the 1980s, even if it met the rules back then. It would be a violation today. The standard is always moving forward, always getting better. So where are these rules written down? Well, these are some of the main rule books that auditors use across the globe. You've got the US FDA's 21 CFR, which is often seen as the gold standard because it's so stringent. But every region has its own version, all built on those same core cGMP principles. Okay, so inside every single pharmaceutical company, you've got two key teams handling quality: quality assurance and quality control. Now, people get these two confused all the time, but their roles are fundamentally different. So let's clear that up right now. Here's the easiest way to remember it. Think of quality assurance, or QA, as the proactive planner. They design the whole system, all the procedures, the training programs, the equipment validation. Their entire job is to prevent failures from happening. Quality control, or QC, on the other hand, is the reactive tester. They're in the lab running tests on the finished product to detect any defects that might have slipped through. So QA builds the fence at the top of the cliff, QC stations the ambulance down at the bottom. Now, the way auditing is done has really evolved. It used to be that an inspector would just go department by department, let's look at the tablet press, then let's look at the packaging line. But regulators like the FDA realize that's not the best way. Now they look at the whole facility as a set of interconnected systems, which gives them a much better, more holistic picture of a company's health. And this is that model in a nutshell. You see 6 systems here, but they are not all equal. The quality system is the central hub. It's the brain of the entire operation. It's where you find management, where audits happen, where you handle any deviations from the plan. So if an auditor finds a serious failure in the quality system, that's a huge red flag. It calls into question the integrity of the entire facility because the brain isn't working correctly. This systems approach also does something really important. It clarifies who's accountable. It's no longer about finding some operator on the factory floor and blaming them for an error. Under modern regulations, senior management is legally responsible for the quality system. They have to provide the resources and prove they're committed. And an auditor will absolutely check this by asking to see things like the minutes from management review meetings. Ignorance is not an excuse. The buck stops at the top. Okay, let's zoom in now from the 30,000-foot view of systems right down to the factory floor. Because all these big ideas, all these systems, they all come down to execution. And that execution is guided and recorded by 2 of the most critical documents in the whole process. Just think of it like this. The Master Production Record, or MPR, is the recipe. It's the perfect, approved, locked-down template for how to make the product. The Batch Production Record, or BPR, is the diary. It's where operators record in real time every single thing that actually happened with one specific batch. And for an auditor, that diary is an absolute goldmine for spotting procedural errors and inconsistencies. So, as we start to bring our journey to a close, you can probably see how all these pieces are connecting. The systems, the management responsibility, the detailed documentation, it's all designed to support one single fundamental shift in thinking. And there it is, side by side. The old way was quality by testing.
It was reactive. You just made the stuff and hoped your testing at the end would catch any bad batches. The new way is quality by design. It's proactive. You focus on deeply understanding and designing a manufacturing process that's so robust, failure is pretty much engineered out from the very start. And that brings us right back to our opening idea. You're no longer trying to test quality in, you're building quality in.
So this is how it all comes together in the real world. An auditor's checklist isn't just a random list of questions. It's carefully mapped to these 6 systems. Just look at that question for the quality system. Is there a backlog of open deviations? That one simple question is so revealing. It doesn't just check a box. It tells the auditor if the company actually has the resources and the know-how to solve its own problems. Each question is a diagnostic tool for the health of the entire operation. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Picture this. A batch of medicine passes every single laboratory test with flying colors. Perfect results. But its diary, the batch production record, is a total mess. It's full of overwritten data, procedural shortcuts, and missing signatures. So the question is that product truly safe? The answer to that question gets to the very heart of why having a robust quality system, and not just a final test, is the ultimate guarantee of patient safety.